as we get ready for the off. As I say, they will have a final warm-up lap, in contrast to what's been happening in Moto E since the start. There's Kevin Zanoni further back for the Aspar team in the middle of that third row of the grid. Sits down in 9th in the championship. Has had one podium this year. That came at the opening round in Le Mans. Again, one of those who was strong at the start of the year, just tailed off in the last few. And every year, Michael, that we get in Moto E, there's something develops, something moves on. Bikes are lighter again this year. Tyres have got more recycled material, so that everything will feel that bit different. And it's like it takes a few rounds to get into the rhythm of it. Someone like Hector Garza has had his own injury issues, the reigning champ, of course. It's just taken time.
Yeah, it's interesting when you see the small changes, or it is deemed a small change from the outside, whether that is tyres, but it changes the complete complexion of who's strong and who's not. And it may take 3-4 rounds before everyone figures out that new tyre construction and how it works, how to generate the heat, how to make it last over distance.
So our first race of the 5th round of the Moto E weekend, and it's Eric Granado starting on pole position for the first time this season, looking for a first win of this year. Alongside him, second in the championship, Lorenzo Baldassari, and then Jordi Torres, former champ. Mattia Casadei, another former champ, who's leading the championship after 2 wins in Hungary. He heads up the second row of the grid, but will fancy his shot at getting on the podium today. There is the reigning champion, Hector Garza. Andrea Mantovani further down on that 4th row of the grid. Of course, he led the championship all the way until that last round in Hungary, until he was overtaken by Baldassari and Casadei. He only got a 10th and a 9th back in Hungary, Mantovani. See all the dust coming up from the bikes, Michael, as they head out on this final warm-up lap ahead of a 6-lap Moto E race.
Yeah, the outsides of the track still kicking up a little bit of dust. We heard from the MotoGP riders after qualifying, they felt the track has evolved a little bit, getting better. Fabio Quartararo said it's improved every session, and that's interesting. It will continue to improve from here. We're going to see a little bit of dust on the run to turn 1 for this race, and perhaps the sprint in MotoGP at 3 p.m. this afternoon. That was interesting.
You see Casadei is basically not going for it, but he's pushing fairly hard on this final warm-up lap. Going out. Eric Granado, meanwhile, had sat up, giving himself the cross, you know, giving himself a bit of luck before the start of the race, and he wants to join, I'm guessing, the grid later than anybody else, a bit Fabio Quartararo style.
Yeah, the heavier machines in Moto E and these downhill left-handers, you need to generate a bit of temperature, so I think it could be a case for Garza, who just likes to come around to the grid like Fabio at the back and wait for the least amount of time as possible until the lights go out.
Side team new this season into the Moto E category with the Romanian Jacopo Hosuc, who's acquitted himself really well this year. I'm impressed by what we've seen. At a season's best 8th place last time out in Hungary. Good to see that Tibor Erik Varga is also back here this weekend after what looked like a horrible crash in the opening race of Hungary when we got a red flag incident, but good to see that the Hungarian is back in the mix. Now everyone sits up, waiting for the grid to form. The final corner, like a race itself here.
Yeah, we get 3 Moto E bikes side by side through the final turn at turn 14.
Yeah, and where is Granado? Still not there. He is right to the back of the field. He is trying to use this to join up at the last minute into his pole position. As I say, last year that he hadn't won a Moto E race. Is this the time it changes for the Brazilian? Former Moto 2 campaigner in his day. Winner, actually, of the Spanish Championship in Moto 2. And we are ready to go then with our first of 2 Moto E races here at the Barcelona Catalunya circuit. Round 9 of the championship. Lights go out and we are underway, and it's a good start from Granado. Really good one though from Baldassari alongside him on the run down towards turn 1. Look at Matteo Ferrari take to the inside as well, down into that first corner. Casadei is going to be under pressure. Zanoni as well coming through on the inside. It's going to be Baldassari who leads them through, but Kevin Zanoni from the 3rd row of the grid, he's gone up into 3rd place.
An impressive jump from the Aspar rider. It looked like Torres got squeezed a little bit into turn 1. He done well to avoid contact. Someone's wide up the top of the hill at turn 3, but yeah, everyone through the first section cleanly done here in Moto E.
So it's Baldassari leading from Granado now in 3rd place, because Zanoni's got through on him through into turn 4. Casadei's there in 4th place, the championship leader. Important for him not to make any mistakes early on, but he's coming under pressure. He's been passed by Ferrari and now by Spinelli, so dropping back into 6th, maybe a bit conservative on this opening lap from Casadei. Blink and you miss it in Moto E. He's only 6 laps to complete, and already Casadei back into 6th.
Yeah, not easy when you lose those amount of tenths in the opening laps. You can see a rider like Zanoni very comfortable to get his tyres up to temperature, and others like Casadei just a little tentative, but he's got a short race here to make inroads back to Baldassarri, who's had a great first lap.
He's been caught out on a few too many first laps, I think.
Baldassarri, who's had a great first lap.
He's been caught out on a few too many first laps, I think, Casadei this year, for him to take those risks early on. Pulling out onto the inside, Mantovani for the forward team. He's made up a couple of positions. He's up into 8th place, the one-time championship leader.
It does look like Zanoni's the most comfortable here in these first set of corners, but Granado's settling in. Oh, getting it spinning through turn 13 on the Moto E bike.
Baldassarri looks good though, doesn't he? Not had a win in his rookie season. Someone's got a huge one. Huge crash. Is that Casadei? It's Mattia Casadei, I'm sure that was. The LCR bike tumbling through the gravel, and I don't believe it. Having crashed out in race 1 in Austria, he's now crashed out in race 1 here in Barcelona, and suddenly the bike on top of the tyre wall in that final corner, and Casadei's done it again, throwing away the championship lead.
Yeah, first lap seems to be really difficult for Mattia Casadei this year with the changes in Moto E. He can't get the tyres activated. It's obviously part and parcel of the reason why we had a warm-up lap today, and it still caught Mattia out. So the championship leader, he's going to hemorrhage some points here. It's Baldassarri, who on the live scoring, he's only 1 point behind Mattia.
Yeah, and the thing is, Mattia, he also had the first race in Assen, didn't he, if you remember that collision at the Strubben. So Casadei has gone again. Here it is, coming down the hill to the final corner.
Just went so early.
It's a strange one. Look at how much energy in that Moto E Ducati as it hits the catch fence at full force. Just shows how fast they are, the corner speed they roll on these Moto E bikes. Thank goodness that catch fence was there. Wow. So in the meantime, his teammate, Brazilian Eric Granado, has now taken charge in this race from pole position back into the lead, and Matteo Ferrari has come with him up into 2nd place. Baldassarri's dropped into 3rd. Of course, I reckon for Baldassarri, he'll be punching a big hole on the straights to create that slipstream effect.
Yeah, you could see on the front straight last time, Granado got a good run out of the last corner and was able to use the slipstream to great effect. He is good to watch, Granado.
He is.
Like how he's sideways action.
Sliding it, wasn't he, through turn 3 there. Caring a jot about his tyres, but he's going to come under pressure now here from Matteo Ferrari. He takes to the inside line. Ferrari is the faster rider on that lap, but Granado will have the line down into turn 1, and I think he will, relinquish that position, Ferrari. Meanwhile, Spinelli on the move and up into 4th place now.
As the race has settled, it's Zanoni slipping into the clutches of the grip behind. He did look like he was comfy in the early laps, but everyone finding the tyres getting up to temperature and giving them plenty of grip here.
And again, the black lines being laid on the track by this Michelin rubber through turn 3. There was Jordi Torres trying to make up a position. Mantovani's made good progress in this race. He's up to 6th place. Now look at the smoke pouring off the rear tyre. Was that Jordi Torres?
Yeah, likely he does spin it up a little bit, Torres.
That was superb, like a rolling burnout. Jordi Torres, that was seriously impressive. I think it was the Spanish Elvis anyway.
His former champion Garzo. Hector's having a tough weekend here, down in 9th at the moment. It has been a tough old campaign for him following injury in the early rounds.
Yeah, it was in testing, wasn't it, for Garzo. Hurt his wrist, and it's taken some time for him to get back. It looked like he was back on song when we were in Austria, when he took a couple of podiums, but not to be. Here he is attacking Jordi Torres now into turn 10. Someone else, it sounds like, has slid out. Finello, I think it might have been.
It was, yeah.
Alessio Finello, unfortunately, has crashed out. He was up in 12th place and slides out of the race.
It's the other Grassini rider, teammate to Ferrari, but yeah, Matteo Ferrari, former champion, has certainly found his feet as the season's progressed. A tough start for him as well, but the Grassini riders figured things out. Looking strong here in this race.
Meanwhile, Nicola Spinelli has just set a new fastest lap of the race, and he's starting to put the pressure on. This time Ferrari took to the inside, and while Ferrari and Granado battle, Lorenzo Baldassari it is who's taken the lead. He must have got a brilliant exit out of that final corner.
Yeah, a double bike slipstream as well, and just pulled to the left side as they were jostling, trying to defend against each other. Baldassari just slipped down the outside.
The track limits warnings coming up. Garzo's had one now. Luca Bernardi has also had one. He's down the order in 6th place. Oh, he's up to 5th now. Look at the smoke pouring off of Spinelli's tyre.
Yeah, he's smoking it around turn 4 as well.
Well, tell you what, you didn't think you'd get smoke pouring up these without any internal combustion. I'll tell you what, the tyre's providing the job. Down towards La Moreneta, turns 7 and 8, little left and then right kink up the hill, through turn 9 and onto the back straight for Baldassari. See markings starting to occur on these tyres, made of predominantly recyclable material, and they are made to last just the race distance effectively.
So once again at turn 10, Mantovani looking for the cutback. I think Hector's held the line quite well.
Yeah, Varga also making progress. He looked to have got through there, I think. Squeeze in front of Torres, and I think he managed it. Garzo starting to make moves forward. Again, more smoke pouring off the rear tyres. And they cross the line. There will be 2 laps to go in this Moto E. 9th race of the season. Still 5 to come after this, and we're no closer now to knowing who's going to be champion, but it could be Lorenzo Baldassari.
Still searching for his maiden victory in Moto E this season, and he's well positioned here, but will he be thinking championship? Will the team have signalled him to let him know that Casadei is out?
He can't, because Matteo Ferrari, as things stand, has taken over the lead in the World Championship. The Grazzini rider, maiden winner of when it was a World Cup, the first. Oh, he's got out of shape there into turn 4. Ferrari's got to run wide, hasn't he? He's gone really wide onto the dirty stuff, but that late line then spins it up to bring him back to the apex towards 5 now.
That was good work from Granado. He just peeked his head up from down the blind side of the bike as he was hanging off the inside at turn 4 just to avoid contact. Got through there cleanly.
Wide, doesn't he? Ferrari on entry. Tried to point and squirt a little bit while others were railing it around turn 4. Is that the way to win here? Do you want to be leading now onto this final lap? 5th on the grid, Matteo Ferrari leading them down towards turn 10 for the penultimate time.
We've seen the slipstream effect work for Baldassari on the run to turn 1. Is he well positioned here in 3rd, or has Matteo Ferrari judged it perfectly?
You see him sliding through. It looks brilliant, doesn't it? The way they're making these Moto E bikes sing coming out of turn 10, and again through these corners into 13 and 14. Look at them, all of them sliding. Now Granado, is this the spot he needs to be in? 2nd place behind Ferrari. 1 lap to go in our first race of Moto E here at the Barcelona Catalunya circuit. Hugging the inside line, Matteo Ferrari. That means Granado's going to pull to the outside of the racetrack, putting him on the wrong side as he got in front of the Italian. Now that's brilliant from the Brazilian to take over the lead in this race.
Yeah, that was perfect for Granado. He ended up on the perfect line to break into turn 1, and Ferrari thought better of releasing the front brake. It could have ended up in a collision at turn 1.
Oh, look at them all! The rear stepping out through turn 3. It'll happen again in turn 4. Now Ferrari's going to attack, is he? Into 4. No, Granado's covered it off. Is he going to run a little bit wide though? Can anyone turn underneath him? No, not on this occasion. Oh, amazing to see the smoke pouring off the tyres through turn 4. Baldassari attacks on Ferrari into 2nd place, and in doing so will take over the lead in the championship. But there's still half a lap to go in this Moto E race.
We know turn 10 could be the decider. That was a good move at turn 5 for Baldassari, cleanly done down the inside. Gets twitchy, and Granado's got a little bit of a margin here over Baldassari.
He was all crossed up coming out of turn 7 through into 8. Here we go then, down into the... Is it the last overtaking opportunity? We shall see. Granado pushing hard on the brakes into turn 10 on this final lap. Oh, pressure being put on from behind by Spinelli on Ferrari, who's trying to turn 3 Italians jockeying for position behind the Brazilian of Eric Granado. Is there any way through for a late lunge here for Baldassarri to the line? Who's going to get the best exit from that final corner? Or is Eric Granado, after injury, after being flipped 360 back in Le Mans in the French round of this series, he's gone really hard into that corner? Is there a run to the line for Baldassarri? Oh, they go a big wobble for Granado, but he has won for the first time in Moto E this season. The Brazilian on top once more, giving some comfort to LCR with their championship leader having crashed out. A bit of samba style as Eric Granado takes victory from Lorenzo Baldassarri in second place. Matteo Ferrari is in third. Spinelli off the podium in fourth. I think, Michael, that Eric Granado might be enjoying that.
I think he's enjoying it indeed. Obviously, it's been a long run for him back from injury. I thought he'd won every year. I'd missed the fact that he hadn't got one last season through those injuries. He's been through some tough, dark days. And he's going to enjoy this one, drink it in on the celebration lap for Granado.
Yeah, spent a lot of his time here in Barcelona over his career in his aim to get to the top in Moto 2. He's done it in Moto E. Can he challenge in this championship? He has taken the first of our 2 Moto E races here in Barcelona, Catalonia. We'll have all the reaction and the podium when we come back from the break.